The Jays come up big. Jaylen Brown plays great defense on Luka Doncic. The Celtics beat the Lakers. It's a lot of fun here on this bonus podcast right now on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Yup. Beantown, be ever ready. Recognize the city of champs. Back to back, if I say it, it's stamped. Locked on number 19, the best one, the next one. Juice loose in your pool now for the next run. It's the C's, who else could it be? What they gon' say now? Screaming like JT Karalis, recap the madness every game, every practice. Best daily pod, no cap like Brad Beckett. Clutch like Jrue KP, tap in daily. Primetime dapping D White on the sideline. Raining Jays, how it started, raising banners, how we finished. Locked on Celtics pod, home of the winners.
Hey, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast, right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. I got you covered every Monday through Friday, plus bonus podcasts like this one on the weekends here when they play on a Friday or a Saturday. This is a Saturday night, and at this point, it's 3:30 in the morning here after the Boston Celtics beat the LA Lakers. I would like a word with whoever scheduled this game on Spring Forward Day for an 8:30 start. But hey, I'm here for you inside the TD Garden. I'm John Karalis. If you're new to the show, I've been covering the Celtics for about 20 years, doing it now for Boston Sports Journal. I'm here inside the TD Garden. You can see behind me if it's a little overexposed. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see behind me here. I'm here at the arena for Celtics Lakers, which was a lot of fun. This was a great atmosphere. Fans brought it. 8:30 game, but those games, national TV against the Lakers, it's always a lot of fun because, fans have had all day on a Saturday to get fully lubricated and come over here and have a great old time. There's a big Beat LA chant, and there's a lot of great. I was covering this game for Boston Sports Journal as I do. That's my job, and here for you on this podcast after the Jays had a great game. Let's just dive into this. This is going to be a quick one. I'm not going to go too long here. Just quick thoughts, and then this is going to be there for Sunday. Monday, I'll get deeper into the game a little bit, but obviously the big story here: 71 combined points from Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Jayson Tatum 40 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists. I've been saying this for a while now. If you're a regular listener on the podcast, basically since the All-Star break, you can start post All-Star 2025 for the rest of his career until, the decline. But for the next few years in Jayson Tatum's prime, he'll be averaging probably 7-8 assists a game. This is a guy who's averaging less than 4 for his career and less than 6 this season, a career high 5.8 at this point this season. But that average will be up around 7 or 8, I think, next season and moving forward, and for the rest of this season. At this point, in the short, small sample post All-Star, he's at like 7.3. So this is going to be who Jayson Tatum is now. He has taken a leap as far as his passing, and flirting with triple doubles is going to be the norm for Tatum. 40 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists. Dominant game from him. Dominant game from Jaylen Brown, too. 31 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Only 5 combined turnovers for those guys, which for, guys who have their usage as high as they do, that's a pretty good number. Jaylen defensively was just, he picked up Luka for the whole game, minus obviously switches, but was up in his face, forced a bunch of turnovers, 5 turnovers for Luka Doncic, all of them live ball, all of them steals by the Celtics, a few of them by Jaylen Brown, straight rips, and on top of it, there was one block. Peyton Pritchard got credit for it. Did it go down as a block? Yeah, he actually got 2 block shots, but it's one of those where the ball was coming up, Peyton slapped down, and it goes down as a block because it technically was the beginnings of a shot attempt, but that was basically a strip. So the Celtics, even though Luka finished with 34 points, 50% shooting, like the numbers will look like, wow, Luka, 34 points, 8 rebounds, 50% shooting. He had a great game, and he did have a really good offensive game, and had a big finish to the game as well. But early on, the Celtics, like Jaylen did a great job early on with, on Luka, and he was frustrated, and the Celtics attacked him. He was a minus 19 in this game, and I believe it. Like that number, single game plus minus can be noisy, but that I think was legit. The Celtics targeted Luka. This was very much a finals type of attack on Luka Doncic. Celtics went at him, and they scored a bunch on him. It was the trigger for a lot of their offense, and it really looked like a repeat of what the Celtics did to Luka and the Mavericks. It was joking around saying like Nico Harrison was somewhere in his, in a dark room watching this game going, see, that's what I was talking about. Which, is more joke and is a little unfair, but jokes aren't exactly fair. But it is a one of those feelings like that's what they were afraid of. The Celtics can take Luka Doncic, and even though he's having a good offensive game or finished with a good offensive game, throughout most of this night, Luka, I thought, was a negative for the Lakers. It was tough. They really went at him and did a great job. So the Celtics, came out. It was a slow start. The Lakers came out strong. I thought Celtics did a great job coming back. An adjustment that they made at halftime was to get LeBron James kind of off the baseline. So LeBron was covering Al Horford, and Horford was working the baseline as he normally does, in the dunker spot, and then, flaring out to the corners. But they started to, when he's down on the baseline, LeBron could kind of be a rim protector. And LeBron's not a center, but he's huge, right? He's 6'9". He's a giant guy. He can get in there and block some shots. He's a threat to block shots, and you kind of don't want to tempt he's not going to get a bunch of foul calls on him. So what the Celtics did was they started running Al Horford, Derrick White pick and rolls because they were going to switch. The Lakers were switching, and that got LeBron onto Derrick White, and he had to respect Derrick White. That got Al Horford onto Austin Reeves, and then they would just get the entry pass into Al Horford. And I think getting the switch, getting Al out, getting LeBron out into the perimeter, and then getting Al down low, even if they didn't get it to Al, that got LeBron away from patrolling the paint, and the Celtics really opened things up in the third quarter. 19-2 run to start the third quarter, broke the game open, changed the game, and I thought that was where the game was won. They did have a mini run. The Lakers made a big run in the fourth quarter, and the Celtics kind of went on a little bit of run at the end of the fourth to put it away. But the game changed in the third quarter there behind Al Horford. They targeted Al Horford over and over and over again. Luka, LeBron, they wanted those switches, and it didn't work for the Lakers. They went at Al, and after the game, I asked him about that. And he said, you got to prove yourself out there every night, and I look forward to doing that. And he was like, he wanted to smile so bad, but he held it back. It was really funny because he did prove himself, and it's kind of fun. They could not get the types of opportunities that they were looking for. Early on, they were getting a lot of fadeaways, and I said it during the game. If you're attacking Al Horford and all you get is fadeaway twos, then the Celtics will be like, do that all night, please. Here you go. Here's a nice fruit basket for your flight home, because thank you so much for settling for fadeaway 2-pointers. We'll just sit here and keep taking 3-pointers and running our offense and having a lot of success that way. And it's all because Al Horford was able to contain them on the switches. And there was help on the backside, but they were able to contain that targeting, and they did a great job. Defensively, huge key for the Celtics is just Jaylen covering Luka straight up, being able to cover LeBron straight up. Even there was the stretch where LeBron was switching on to Derrick White and kind of punishing that matchup. the Lakers didn't go to it a ton. And again, that was resulting in a lot of 2-pointers, and it was not really effective in building a lead or anything like that. So I thought the Celtics did an amazing job defensively. It was a playoff atmosphere for sure. Like I said, the crowd was juiced. The court was mobbed. It's a big game when you look at the court for warmups and there's people all around it surrounding the entire court because there's so much interest and so much media and so many people here. It was an incredible scene. Now, obviously, the Celtics struggled a little bit in the fourth quarter. They gave up a huge run in the fourth. And I think there's a misconception here where the Celtics kind of let up. And because whenever you give up a 20, the lead was as high as 22, it was 20 going into the fourth quarter. There's this misconception that you let that lead get down to 4, it's a let up. I don't think it's a let up. They stagnated for sure. The offense stagnated. What I thought the Celtics did was they were going for the kill shot. They were slowing the game down a little too much. They were matchup hunting and 3-point hunting, looking for the knockout blow, right? They had it at 20, and they're just like, and they had been hitting some 3-pointers. I think the Celtics, because I don't think they let up. They weren't lazy. They weren't because they were defending. They were still defending. They were losing guys. They were definitely losing guys, but I think the Celtics were going for like a boxer. You got the guy kind of staggered, his knees have buckled, and instead of doing all of the things that got you to that point, now they're going for the knockout. And if you just kept, if they had just kept on doing the things they were doing, the knockout would have happened naturally. It would have been a TKO, but they were going for the big headshot. And it was just 3-pointer after 3-pointer after 3-pointer. And they got away from the drives. They got away from the attacking. They got away from the things that were working. And it didn't settle down until Jayson Tatum attacked. And there was I think that started the, calming down. Derrick White ended up drawing a foul on a 3-pointer. That kind of settled everybody down. Jaylen Brown starts hitting shots, and then they started to hit some threes to put it away. I just felt like if they had done what they had done to get there, they would have been fine. They would have run away with this. I said before the game, I was talking to Chris Forsberg, and he was like, so what do you think is going to happen here? And I said, am I crazy to think the Celtics are going to win comfortably? And I still wanted to take credit for the comfortable win because it ended up being by 10. I thought in that second half, if the Celtics had just kept going and doing the things that worked, they would have easily won this game by whatever it was. It wouldn't have been as tight as it ended up being, but they settled down. They got the job done. So the other big thing that happened is Jrue Holiday played. No Kristaps Porzingis, which I was surprised. He said on Instagram that he was going to play, and he didn't. So I don't know if he's going to play. Maybe he'll play on Monday against Utah. I don't expect, by the way, Jaylen Brown played 41.5 minutes. Jayson Tatum, 45.5 minutes. Al Horford, 37 minutes. Derrick White, 36. Jrue Holiday, 34. This was Joe Mazzulla wanted this game. Joe wanted this game. And look, Joe, not only the most competitive guy on the planet, like me, Rhode Island guy, grew up, loving the Celtics. Now he's very well aware of what the Celtics-Lakers rivalry means, right? 20 years ago, this is 20, we're coming up on 20 years of the 08 championship. That's what, 17 years ago? I mean, Joe was, in college. He's a Celtics fan, in his, young adulthood, probably, celebrating like mad that the Celtics won a championship, over the Lakers. He understands this rivalry. Of course he wants to win this. He knows what this is all about. So, yeah, he played these guys big minutes in chasing that win. Now, with the Jazz coming in on Monday and probably missing a ton of guys and in full tank mode. I expect Jayson Tatum's shoulder impingement to flare up. I expect Jaylen Brown's knee to be too sore. I expect, Holiday to maybe Holiday plays just to kind of get back into it, but not play much. I expect a lot of guys to miss that game and have it be another G League showcase, because then OKC, they're not gonna go all out against Utah and then get tired for OKC. There's gonna be extra rest days here, so they went all out to win this one. But Holiday played. He had the pinky in a big wrap. There's basically a cast or a splint underneath that pinky. But my absolute favorite part of the night was Jrue hitting the corner three, and instead of him doing his 3-point celebration, little wave celebration, he did the Dr. Evil pinky to his mouth. And I asked him after the game, did you do the Dr. Evil pinky? And he confirmed, yes, I got a lot of requests to do the pinky thing. So that's his new 3-point celebration as he deals with the mallet finger. So that was a lot of fun too. Not much from everybody else. Derrick White had a kind of a slow, quiet night, a good night, but 10 points, not a lot, seven shot attempts, which is nuts after he, a couple of games ago, he took 17 3-pointers, but 7 assists for him. The Celtics had 24 assists overall. Like I said, 8 for Tatum, 7 for Derrick White, 3 of 7, 1 of 5 from 3. Missed some shots that he would normally make. Pritchard was quiet, just 5 shots. Luke Cornett had, a couple of moments in there, but just 3 shots for him. Sam Hauser, 11.5 minutes, just 1 shot attempt, a 3-pointer that missed. He actually didn't play bad defense against LeBron, but I didn't think this was a matchup for him. And 11.5 minutes shows that Joe Mazzulla was in agreement that this is not you get what you can out of him in a situation like this, but you don't want him out there too much targeting so he can get targeted. But Celtics did a great job defensively to win this game. Obviously, like I said, the Jays were great. It's incredible to have 2 guys that can guard the way they do. And my last thought here is that this game shows the thing that I've been saying all along about the Celtics, which is they own the matchups. They own all the matchups against these teams. And I keep saying this about Cleveland, and we'll see OKC, they'll find it again. Whether it's a Jayson Tatum matchup against the big, or Jaylen Brown matchup against the smaller guy, or you go all the way down to Al Horford against Austin Reeves, somewhere on the floor, this killer whale offense is going to find a seal. There's always a seal out there for the killer whales to go hunt. That's the secret sauce for the Celtics. In every game, in every series they're going to face, they will find a matchup somewhere that they can exploit. Meanwhile, the Celtics rarely throw out a matchup that can be exploited, hunted, and decimated. The other team has a star player in Luka Doncic that can get targeted. The Celtics do not have stars that can get targeted. Jaylen Brown goes out there and defends Luka Doncic. Jayson Tatum defends either LeBron or whomever he's guarding, or is in help and is defending. These guys, Jayson started on LeBron in this game. That says a lot about a team where the opening possession, Jayson Tatum picks up LeBron James, Jaylen Brown picks up Luka Doncic, and that still leaves Derrick White and Jrue Holiday and Al Horford out there to defend other guys. That is incredible. That is incredible to have a team where your 2 best offensive players, 2 guys who combine for 71, 1 guy who's flirting with a triple-double, and they're out there defending the other 2 teams, the other team's 2 best players. That's the difference between the Celtics and a lot of these other teams, that they can defend, all of their guys defend, their stars defend, and other teams, they have weak spots that the Celtics can attack. That's the difference. That's why we bring up the killer whales, because that's who the Celtics are. So a great win over the Lakers. This is a big one. Watch the Lakers now because of the wildfires, they had games canceled. They are going to be in a potential free fall. They've got, I think, 8 games in 13 nights. LeBron tweaked a groin, which he, after the game, said he wasn't too worried about. But even so, it probably is going to limit him somewhat. Watch the Lakers after winning 8 in a row. They have the potential after climbing to the 2nd seed. They might not end up the season in the 2nd seed, and that's gonna put a lot of pressure on them. So if you want, on top of the Celtics winning and beating the Lakers, a little added schadenfreude, that's watch the Lakers now and see if they go on a little bit of a skid. Hell of a win here in Boston. I had a lot of fun. This was a great atmosphere, and I hope you enjoyed this bonus podcast. I said it was going to be a short one, and it's still 21 minutes. So I can't shut up. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Hope you subscribe. If you haven't subscribed already, get this show dropped directly to your favorite podcasting app. We're on all of them. Get onto the YouTube page, share your thoughts in the comment section, and then share the podcast. Tell everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.